And
What was that, Joe?
Joe, go.
If you watch YouTube to learn everything,
You're a dumbass. That's what you said right before we came on the show, just so everybody knows.
Go ahead, Joe.
Exactly.
Not a good way to promote your videos, Joe.
No,
Not a good way.
that was HVACR North, Joe. Everybody,
There went 30 subs right there.
there went all of our sponsors.
I'm just being real. I'm being real, guys.
Keep it real, Joe.
Listen,
We had Gerber, we had some HTC guys. Gatorade just contacted me earlier. They're out now.
yeah.
They don't like your foul language.
Oh, I try to keep it good, clean. But honestly, if you watch YouTube videos to like maybe get some pointers, you're stuck, fine. But to go to class on YouTube, it's kind of pushing it.
No, I don't know.
Why is that? And why is that? What's the main reason for that?
Well, people leave details out, you know? There's a lot of people leave details out. You don't know the fine details, and that's what's important. You just see what's there. Maybe get some details, but, you know, you're not.
And what if you're learning wrong?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, what if you're learning wrong?
Watching somebody that's an idiot that
Yeah,
doesn't know what he's doing.
yeah,
You don't want to take up those habits.
No, wrong compressor. It doesn't.
Everybody's asking where Adam is. Adam had a death in the family, so he's not going to be here tonight. So, if you will, keep him and his family in your prayers with their loss. So,
Send out some positive vibes.
yeah.
But back to the YouTube thing real quick. Now, I think YouTube could be used very well as a supplemental tool to increase your knowledge, to learn stuff. You know, for example, when I was breaking into the industry, there was a lot of stuff that I would probably never see on a daily basis, but there was guys on YouTube making videos of stuff I would never get to see. So it was almost like I was gaining a little bit of experience through those videos. I felt more comfortable going into certain situations after watching those videos. So in that sense, I think it can help you. But I also think you do need to have a decent foundation to start from. You can't just watch a couple YouTube videos, jump on a roof, start pulling compressors out and everything.
I agree.
You could, but you're not going to.
Yeah, and Michael makes a good point. You can learn wrong in the field too.
That's true.
Yeah,
depending on who you're learning from. So
yeah, there's.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope there. I mean,
yeah.
Now, Justin, did you go to school or anything for this?
I did not.
Apprenticeship? Just learned in the field?
I learned straight up in the field. I was actually crazy. So before, a lot of guys know I was military. And then when I got out of the military, I worked in emergency services. So I worked at 911 center. I was a reserve deputy for the sheriff's department. I actually moved. I'm originally from South Georgia.
So you're kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter, huh?
Yeah. So was living in Tennessee, was looking to move back home to Georgia. And I applied for a job with Shenega Corporation, which is like a private security contractor out of Alaska. And they had a contract with the federal law enforcement training centers. It's like where the U.S. Marshals and Secret Service, all those guys train at. And I applied for a job.
They train in Alaska?
No. They had the government contracts here. So like there's one in Brunswick, Georgia. There's one in Virginia. They're all over the country, and it's where like federal officers train at.
Okay.
And I applied for a range safety officer, basically working on a gun range, and got the job. And went down there, went through a big, long process. Long story short, it didn't work out. And I was in South Georgia without a job. There was a local heating and air company that put an ad online and said, looking for help, willing to train the right guy, no experience needed, apply in person. So I went and talked to the guy and said, look, all I know is military and law enforcement. I don't know a thing about heating and air, but I'm willing to learn if you're willing to teach me. And he said, be here Monday. So I started off as a install helper. Didn't know nothing. I was a friggin' tool grabber. Go get me this, go get me that. And over the years, worked my way up, become a lead installer, moved to service and sales. And here I am today. Still doing it.
With that sort of start in the industry, how did you supplement your knowledge, your training? What'd you do on the side? I mean, you probably didn't pick up everything from the field. You read books or YouTube videos. Joe, whenever you had a question,
read a little bit. I'm not. A lot of guys read books and stuff. I have always been more of a hands-on guy.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of classes, going to different classes for, this or that, being sent to different cities for training. But honestly, a lot of it has been just trial and error. You screw up, you realize what you screwed up, you learn from it and you move on. And, eventually you start picking stuff up. I mean, so
yeah,
it wasn't a lot of reading, a lot of classes from distributors and stuff, and just learning in the field.
I think that's a good way to learn. That's kind of how I learned. I learned just throwing parts at stuff, kind of seeing what happens when you do so. It's a little bit expensive way to learn, but I think it makes you a better tech in some ways.
What about you, Joe? I mean,
I went to school.
Did you?
Yeah, I went to school. I didn't start when I was younger. I didn't start doing HVAC. I was in the mechanical field. I went to school for mechanical engineering. Dropped out. Couldn't do it. Then I started auto mechanics. Didn't like it. I want to be stuck at a shop all day inside. So I took that as a hobby. And then, in my 20s, I started going in the HVAC field. Started like all you guys and installs, and just worked my way up to.
Oh no, I never started with installs.
No.
No, I kind of worked my way backwards. I had to learn installs after I became basically a service tech. And then they're like, hey, you want to go out and do some installs? I'm like, I don't know how to do installs. And they're like, what do you mean you don't know how to do installs? I'm like, I wasn't raised up that way. But
that's crazy for me. And maybe that's a common thing in different parts of the country, but like Tennessee, Georgia, places like that, at least in my experience, is you start off at the bottom. Even if you're coming out of school, even if you went to trade school for 2 years, you go and apply at a company and say, well, I just graduated from school. And they say, okay, congratulations, you're an installer. You put your time in as an installer, and you eventually get considered for service based on how you do an install. It's crazy for me. Not saying people can't, because I mean, obviously you done it, people can do it.
Yeah, I sort of fell into the commercial side of things when I basically was a manager for a large Wendy's franchise for a number of years, and they knew my background was appliance repair, and a maintenance position opened up. So I took it and I just started fixing stuff. It was just basically bigger home appliances, and dirtier and greasier and sharper and hotter.
Right.
But sort of just fell into it. And then since I was in commercial, as far as an install, we had to do a set of rooftop unit, but residential split systems. I had to learn that many, many years later.
Yeah.
How wasn't it like a new guy in a company going from commercial to residential? It goes both ways, I think.
What do you mean?
Like when you jump in from commercial to residential, or if you jump in commercial from residential, it seems like there's a learning curve. You're not going to know everything, right?
Yeah, like sometimes even when I go out and work on a split system, not in a residential application, but say if it's for an office or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of a learning curve. As far as ductwork, I'm really not used to ductwork because, again, a majority of the stuff I have is just giant rooftop units that just have open returns, maybe a little tiny bit of ductwork just coming down from the roof, a couple feet. But a majority of the stuff we do, it's not set up like residential. So yeah, you're right. I think there's a bit of a curve to it.
I know you don't want to spoil it, Bill. You don't have to. But what happened with that gas situation on that video?
Oh, the funky gas pressures.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. They haven't called me back yet because I put a quote into return to make sure all the units fire up because I did shut off all the gas to those units and the gas valves, and yeah, they haven't called me back yet. A couple guys online have given me a lot of good ideas. Like they believe that it could have been a clogged vent, possibly water, moisture, ice inside the regulator. But yeah, I'm not sure because in the video, like I said, all the other units, the littler units anyway, those didn't seem to have a problem running. So I don't know if those regulators weren't affected by whatever was in the system, moisture, water, or clogged vents. Or the other possibility I thought of was maybe those littler units are working that way because they got one single gas valve with maybe 3 little burners on them. They're much smaller than the one that I showed in the video. You know, those are 2-stage, a lot bigger burners, of course, bigger gas valves, all that.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe that was affecting it because it didn't seem like all the units would fire up at the same time. So, but I believe there was probably just a situation with the regulators on both those units. I don't think there was a problem with the pressure to the gas pressure going to the building.
Gotcha.
But in a situation like that, I feel it's safer if I say, listen, you need to have the gas company out here verify pressure at the meter. Especially this year, I've literally had 7, maybe 8 buildings now that I've gone to this heating season that have had no gas. The gas has been locked out at the meter and nobody apparently knew it. And I've had guys that have quoted gas valves and all this sort of stuff, and I'll go out there just to double check because why not? And I find out, there's no gas. Your gas meter's locked out. So in a situation like that, I'm like, have your gas company come out, verify everything's okay. We got pressure, and call me back out. I'll fire it back up, and then we'll go from there. But they haven't called me back out yet.
I agree with that. Call the utility company. That's what I would do right away. It seems like either a lot of the problems either too little. Well, obviously, I guess you could say it's too little or too much, but usually it's the little side. Usually, you're getting soot build up, or you're just not getting enough gas. But in situations like you have funky gas. Yeah, go ahead.
Now, you might know this. Now, these buildings, as far as I know, they usually have about 15 inches of water column gas pressure coming in or coming from the meter up to the roof. Is that normal for like Canada? Do you know?
No, they usually have more here.
More?
You could come up you could go to the building at 2 psi.
Huh. You go to the meter. You're talking about at the meter?
Yes. And then it'll step down to
2 psi. What is 2 psi in inches of water column? Like 24?
24. Yeah. Do the math. You know it. What would you say? 24 is. Yeah.
So it'd be 1 psi. It's 48.
Yeah. So, and then it steps down again. So
once you get to the regulator.
Sure. There's not just one regulator. Remember that. You know that, right?
No, and these I think there's one regulator. It goes from the meter up the side of the building, over the roof, to the regulator on the unit, and then from after the regulator to the gas valve.
Okay. So over here, a lot of situations, you'll get a main regulator meter, then it'll have a step down regulator, then it'll go to the units.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So say we have... So at that first main regulator, then you'd have 48 water column inches.
Yeah.
And then after that, what sort of pressures are you looking at after that regulator before the?
It's go to half of that. Let's say 14.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then so by the time you get out of that secondary regulator, you're looking at 3 to 5 inches.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Depending 7 around there. Yeah.
Interesting.
Sometimes it could go straight at higher volumes. It goes straight to 10. It could go straight to 14. But a lot of cases, you got 2 regulators, from what I see.
Interesting.
Yeah,
that's almost as interesting as boiler talk, but not quite.
We won't go there for you.
Stop it. Stop. No boiler.
Let's not do that.
It's 56 inches of water column is 2 psi.
Sorry?
56 inches of water column is 2 psi.
Okay.
Is it 56?
Yeah, according to Google, yes. I wanted to look it up since everybody was guessing in the chat.
Yeah, I was a little bit off, I suppose. Damn.
Get them all.
Yeah, I thought it was 24 or 28.
It says 27.7 or something like that. Yeah.
27 and a half. It's the internet, so you can just say whatever you want, and people will just take it to truth.
Yeah, I'm getting this from Wikipedia. No, I'm just kidding.
Wikipedia.
It's 27.7 for 1 psi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hey, Icon said, don't do the fuel fired stuff, just strictly heat pumps. Hey, when I was a installer in Georgia, South Georgia, you don't see a whole lot of gas. Like, I think I put in one gas furnace the entire time I was an installer.
That's crazy. I can't even imagine going through an entire work year and not doing anything like as far as heating goes. It's cooling, and then we have our economizer season, which is fall. That's where we go out and fix all the broken economizers, and then it's heat, and then we kind of slow down in the spring, maybe a little bit of economizer action. Then it's back to cooling.
Yeah.
I can't imagine just not having furnaces. Now, down in Tennessee there, do they have crawl spaces mostly or basements?
It's a mixture. It's
Yeah.
a mixture. And that's where I first learned to work on gas. You know, when I moved back to Tennessee from Georgia, I'd worked on nothing but heat pumps.
Hmm.
So I'm like, you know, went to work for a company up there when we first moved back. I'm like, I don't know gas furnaces. And he's like, oh God, it's simple. If you can figure out how to work on a heat pump, you can figure out gas. Gas is simple.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
Yeah,
once I started
it's
working on them
terrible.
and messing with them, I'm like, man, I'd rather work on gas any day of the week than I would a heat pump.
You know, I've honestly maybe touched 4 heat pump systems in my entire career.
Really.
Yeah, I just don't see them around here.
We're actually doing a split dual fuel system on Monday. That's going to be fun.
Oh wow! You get Adam on that.
Is that so? A dual fuel system, heat pump and gas?
Yeah, heat pump, and then you set the lockout for, I don't know, most people do 35 or 40 degrees.
Really?
Lock out the heat pump and switch to gas.
Is that a common thing in Chicago? It seems like Chicago
It's
would
not
be
common up here. No.
Yeah, Chicago's got to be
Tennessee,
so
it is
cold.
very, very common. It's very common in Tennessee, and not so much for people with natural gas. It's for the people that only have propane, because propane's expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And they eat it up in the wintertime, so they need something to offset that. So a lot of people that only have access to propane or have a propane tank in the house,
And they do the heat pump.
then
to supplement.
they do the dual fuel stuff.
I guess that makes sense in that situation. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, not very common up here that I've seen anyway. So, but I guess the guy, I didn't sell it. Adam's dad sold it, but I guess the guy was persistent on, he wanted a heat pump, he wanted dual fuel, and to me up here it doesn't seem logical. Natural gas is cheap, and we're talking about Chicago. So, what's your heat pump going to run for 2 weeks?
I just
Before it starts getting freaking cold and it's below 35 and 40 and it's running in gas anyway. So really, what's the benefit of the heat pump?
Right.
Yeah.
You agree?
Last week or 2 weeks ago, I got a video that I'll probably upload after this tonight. But I had something I haven't seen in Michigan, I think ever. I had a rooftop unit, a carrier package unit that had electric heat strips, had no gas, no heat pump, just straight electric heat strips. I've never seen that before, ever.
They have that in apartments most of the time. Like, I worked on one the other day up here, had a TAM7 Train Hyperion air handler, strictly electric heat, no heat pump.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And again, I think the only reason they got by with it in that particular situation is because it's at a mall, and a majority of the mall is, the heating and cooling is controlled by their chiller, which I don't have access to play with. But so I think that's why they just have this as sort of a supplemental heat just in case, because it's a jewelry store. I mean, it's really not like a closed off store, and it's fully open to the rest of the mall. So
yeah,
I think that's why they can make it work. But in an apartment complex, though, I would imagine that would be a little bit more of a difficult application because, maybe if it's on the third floor, all the heat rising, maybe helps to heat it. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, up here you don't see many dual fuel, never. But even heat pumps, just like you, Bill, we don't see many. You might see them as secondary heat, not primary heat.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say Ohio. I forget his name, guys. You might know Zach. Rick. Is it Rick? In Ohio, they have a lot of dual fuels. I'm surprised. Ohio is one of the upper states, if I'm right, right?
Yeah, it's right below me. I was actually just in Ohio.
Oh.
Yeah. Just alternate.
I think it just depends on the area, because I mean, I see some guys on YouTube that are in like New York, and they're working on heat pumps. So I'm like,
Are you talking about HVAC Survival, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's down in Ohio here. He does a lot of videos on heat pumps.
Oh no, he said there's a lot of what do you say? Dual fuels there. Dual fuels. Okay. Yeah, I was like,
I must not be watching the chat.
Wanted to know. Here's a question for you guys. Maybe guys and gals in the chat. How do you approach your boss for another company vehicle? If you guys think you need another company vehicle, how do you approach it? What do you say?
First thing I do is I take my van and I drive it straight into a telephone pole, and then I call them. They're like, I need a new truck.
Okay, that's a good way to get your own new truck. But what happens if let's say you want another truck for somebody else? If you get
like another guy that you work with?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Yes, exactly, Bill. If you need another company vehicle added to the fleet.
So you're talking about you already have a guy and he needs a truck?
Yes.
But he already has a truck and it's just a piece of garbage?
Right now he's not even using his truck. He's using his own car, truck.
Well, shoot, that shouldn't be a tough conversation at all. The guy's gonna leave if I had to use my own car to do service for somebody else. I'd be like, no, I'll go somewhere else. Everybody's hiring.
I know.
I'll go someplace where they'll give me a truck the day I start working for them.
So what is he, Joe? Is he your helper right now or something? Or
one of the helpers underneath me, and it's almost like he brought it up to me. It's almost like my obligation to bring it up, obviously. So I don't know how to approach the boss. And
how long has he worked there?
Just a year.
A year? Yeah, he deserves a company vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a year.
I think so.
Now, if he'd been there a freaking 2 weeks or a month or some crap, I'd say, okay, maybe you're still filling him out. But if he's been there a year and it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere, it's time.
Yeah.
How many guys you got working with you, Joe?
Just two others.
Just two others. Do they have vehicles?
The other guy,
company vehicles.
One of them does, and one of them doesn't. Yeah.
So the one that doesn't, that's who we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. I would say he's probably going to pull the trigger on another company eventually once he realizes his worth.
The thing is, I hear you're right. He can do that, but when he feels he is comfortable, he's getting treated well, he just wants a company car, and I think there should be another company truck. It'll benefit the company, and I just. How do you bring that up? That's all.
Well, now the other guy that has a company vehicle, how long has he been there?
Probably over 2 years.
Are you drinking out of a Tim Hortons cup, Joe?
Yes.
Could you be any more Canadian?
I know. I should have. I don't know why he got
Jeez.
Jeez. Unbelievable. But anyways,
I need to get my red, white, and blue bandana on and start drinking Budweiser and.
Yeah,
repping the
your
States.
wife beater or something.
Get my wife beater on.
I didn't plan that. It's so funny how he just. Anyways,
now I totally forgot what we were talking about. Oh yeah, your guy with the truck there.
Yeah.
I think I would start that conversation as just presenting, for one, the benefits of having another guy with a truck. He's going to be more accessible. He's going to be more comfortable. He's going to feel like the company actually appreciates him. He'll probably stick around longer, and it'll probably thwart all of the thoughts that he may or may not have about leaving the company to go to another company who would hire him for possibly a better wage and a company vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get paid and then use my personal vehicle to go do service calls. I mean,
it's funny how you say that because, leave another company and get the wage or whatnot. But you know what? It's funny. A lot of companies up here, I don't know if they do it down there. A lot of companies use that as like, not a whippy stick, but it's like they use that as leeway. Oh, we'll give you a company truck, but we'll pay you less. It's almost
really?
like you know what I mean?
Oh no, see up here, like
a lot of.
No, as far as the companies like I've been exposed to, that's just like for the most part, that's the standard. Obviously, when you first start, they're feeling you out. You're riding with a guy just to make sure you're not on crack or meth or anything. But like once they know that you're not a psychopath, they're like, yeah, here's your truck. I mean, it's like just a normal thing.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I don't know if it's because he's on a smaller scale, maybe.
Yeah, it could be if he's a smaller company, just 3 guys. I mean, it's
right.
I'm looking at medium-sized companies up here where sort of it's
6-7 trucks at least.
Yeah. Like I think right now we got 25 or 30, maybe. I don't even know.
Yeah. Wow. That's
Yeah. So I mean, we're medium size, I guess I'd call it. But it's with a company like this, it's sort of expected. Like, all right, I'll see you next week. You're on your own now, and just bring your minivan.
Your caravan. What are you driving, Bill? We'll get to Justin after. A lucky guy, what he got himself into.
But let me tell you what I was driving. I was driving a 2017 Dodge ProMaster City, which is basically the Dodge version of a Ford Transit.
Yep.
Which is incredibly horrible. It's
is it?
It's awful. It's this. You know what the Ford Transits are like, right?
The Transit Connect, the small.
Yeah, the Transit Connect. Yep. It's basically a Ford Focus body with like a utility, or a Ford Focus frame with a utility body on it.
Yeah.
And so, translate that over to Dodge, where they just made a couple design changes, so same size and everything. So that's what I had. And I'm not a huge guy. I'm maybe 6'1" on a good day, right? And these little tiny seats, you're cramped up in there. These little tiny seats, you have no room to move, no room to stretch your legs out. Your knees are up in the dashboard. So you're driving around that all day. And then you get to the back of the truck where it's all of your stuff is just crammed into there. I'm a pretty organized guy, but even if your stuff is nice and neat and organized in there, you still have to take out half your truck just to get to that one thing that you use maybe 2-3 times a year. It's just
well. And
awful.
the other thing is too, like, you're a commercial guy, so how many parts can you really get on there?
Exactly. Yeah, and the weight of everything that we carry, because I had it just max loaded. I mean, it was just loaded to the max, and it was a nightmare. Between the service and the lack of actual gas mileage savings that they thought they were going to get, it just turns out that they were a waste of money. So they're upgrading our entire fleet now. They're going from the little ProMasters to what is it? It's some of the guys are getting the Chevy 3500s, and then some of the other guys are getting the the GMC equivalent, the Sahara. I don't know what it is. I could be wrong. Same size van essentially as the 3500 Expresses. Mm-hmm. But it's so much better. I go from driving that to driving this thing. It feels like I'm driving a semi truck.
Right.
It's like I got in there. I climbed up in there and I'm driving all like a little old lady going to 14 miles an hour down the freeway because I'm scared to go any faster now. It's nuts, man. But it's so much better. I mean, it's literally the van designed for commercial work.
Yeah. I sent a picture to Zach. I wish he had it. It was, I don't know if you remember, Justin. You've seen it. It was because I have the Transit, the small Transit, and
that's what you have now, Joe.
Yeah, and it's packed. Man. I have to go in the undergrounds, right? So it's only over here. It's kind of like practical kind of thing, but it sucks.
Wait, you said you have to go in the undergrounds?
Yeah, underground parking. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah, I could never do that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you have a ladder rack? Sorry to keep interrupting you.
No. It's all good. No, I don't. I put it. I built this sheet metal L bracket ladder rack in the van. It's funny for a 6-footer. And it takes a little room. It comes from the ceiling, but I just put a little.
They have what's the name of that product? They have something called Jet
Rack.
Jet Rack. That's the one.
Yeah.
That goes right inside the ceiling. It's super nice. It's like a spring-loaded thing that you throw your ladder up there, pull the spring-loaded lever back, holds your ladder right in place. Super slick. I used to have one in my old van.
I think I might have seen that actually. I think I made my own. It just sits there. And it's a pain in the ass.
You made the poor man's jet rack.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen some guys just build like a square up towards the front, towards the bulkhead, and then they slide the ladder in, and then on the backside they just bungee it. Like they'll have
that's what I do.
2 hooks, and they just bungee the back of it up to the roof. That's what I held in place in the front, and then you just hold it up with a bungee in the back.
Like a poor man MacGyver.
Yeah.
But the odd time the bungee comes off or you don't set it in right, so you make a hard stop or a hard getaway and your ladder is going flying.
Yeah.
It's happened a few times. But anyways. But that's about it. Yeah, it was crazy. It was just jam-packed. I just couldn't fit it like so many times, and that I can't even see I don't know, a foot across because it's so jammed. But it is what it is, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you guys do anything, any crazy calls this week? Bad service calls, horrible customers?
No. But the video I've just posted, it's just lack of information from a building operator. It's just, okay.
What happened in that video? We talked about this, was it last week or the week before? That video you're supposed to upload about showing us how you actually manscape?
Oh yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay, there's a picture. Hold on. There's a picture of the truck at one time. Show the backside, Zach, if you have it. That's awesome. How you?
That's the
I'm
inside
looking
of your
down
truck?
through the chat to find it right now. Those pictures.
Okay,
That's
that's
the
the
one
side view. Yeah, my bag stuff there. I got another ladder. See that? See the rack? See?
Notice how he carefully opened the door. The door's not even open all the way because he was afraid
No,
stuff was
all
going
that
to
stuff
fall
would
out.
fall right out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So that's that's the side view, and Zach hopefully he gets a rear view. It's pretty funny. The gauges are like tucked in the corner. You see like one I think it was R22 in the corner, and maybe a 410 on the floor, and everything just slammed on top of it. It's just crazy.
Yeah, but see, I guess the difference is, like, you have to do everything out of that. Like, you're doing installs, you know, if you got to run service, you got to run service. So you got all these materials and all this stuff in the back of that thing. When I drove a little Transit Connect, it was strictly service, residential service. And I just kept the bare minimum stuff, you know, like one condenser fan motor, one blower, you know, a few caps, a few contactors, a couple hard starts, a couple transformers. And fortunately, the town, not that this is a good idea.
Is that your ladder? Like,
do what?
He's still Bill's still in awe of the van, Justin.
Yeah, I'm just staring at this thing. I'm like, is that your ladder? Like sitting on that whole like pile of stuff?
So what do you mean?
I'm trying to make sense.
There's a rear. There's a rear.
Oh my God!
You see a couple gauges.
Oh my God!
You see a roto hammer. You see a jug of refrigerant. You see
you got two ladders in there.
Crazy.
Oh man, I couldn't. I would burn that to the ground.
I know. Trust me, dude. That was frustrating, as you see. But I was leaving a job and had to go bring some stuff to another job for the guys. So it was one of those days. But yeah, that's pretty hideous.
Did you like roll the van over? My van, like as soon as I got home, I would have tore every bit of that shit out of my van. In my driveway, threw away what's trash, and I would have completely reorganized the van. Like, you could ask my wife. I'm freaking spastic about my van. It gets the least little bit dirty, I'm out there in the driveway fixing it. I can't stand it.
I don't know how you get anything done with that. You must have to unload half that crap just to get to anything.
No, that's at the end of the day, so I just put stuff in there. But you know what? For the most part, you're right. You still got to reach over so much stuff. It's annoying, but like, you know, even for iron, you know, you have crates, or you know, you got to get a contact, or you were saying anything, and you're reaching over on a shelf.
Where's your inventory on there? I see some filters over there in the background. I'm sure those are good still.
Oh no, let me just throw this in there before I forget. Joe's one of those guys that they're like on a job, and the helper's like, "Hey, I need this," and Joe's like, "Okay, yeah, it's out there in my van." And he goes out there and opens the van. And he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you got to unload the whole damn van to get back there to where it may be at,
and make sure it's organized."
Yeah, don't mess up my stuff, you jerk.
Oh my God, I feel like that's how I am. It was at the end of the job. It's been a long week. I had to bring some stuff to another job. That's what I got to deal with. It's just, you know, I just put it in there.
Your van looks like a hoarder. Like, we should have a team of people come out there and like counsel you, and then like take all the stuff out of your van and figure out the problems behind this. That's nuts, man. I wish I had a picture of my van. I mean, my van's pretty organized, but I mean, it's I could never do that. I couldn't work like that.
Oh no.
If I was your helper and you sent me out there to get a tool, I would open up that door and then I would just start walking down the highway. I'm like, nope, I can't work for this guy.
No,
I would just aimlessly walk. And then they'd find me like 12 days later just walking down the highway, a missing person or something.
Hey, Zach, take those pictures off. These guys think I need an intervention.
Yeah, no, you didn't set yourself up for failure. Now you're going to be forever known as the messy van guy.
What is that bucket? That chief mat? What is that?
Oh, it's a glycol.
I was about to say the glycol bucket.
Yeah,
yeah. Is that stored properly?
It's empty. It's empty now. Yeah.
Well, it's empty now. I mean,
you gotta save those empty buckets. You know, those hoarders keep those empty buckets for a rainy day.
This is wild. Yeah, I'll take this down, man. Yeah. This is embarrassing for the show.
You don't take it off.
Pretty sure we're just losing sponsorship now. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a hard
that guy.
Trucker, right?
Sponsor that guy. Those tools are going to get through the back of that van.
That's a hard looking truck.
There goes your free samples from the companies.
I know. Oh yeah, we'll send you a sample. It'll be destroyed in 2 days.
You should do a van tour, Joe. Just open up the back and be like, there it is. Yeah, 14-second video.
Right.
Over here under this pile of garbage is where I keep my contactors. And over here inside this old glycol bucket is where I keep my tools.
Oh my! You got a 35.5 cap? Yeah, I think it's in a bucket back there somewhere.
Yeah. You know what? It's not usually that full. It's even half that full.
I bought it 2017.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I bought it somewhere
in the bulkhead. Let me cut this. I got to get that bulkhead out of here.
Relays and to get them on the shelf. My shelf's on the left-hand side, by the way. It's only on one side. Oh,
wait, there's a shelf in there? No way.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's funny is
I did not see a shelf in there.
Yes, and there's so much weight. Listen to this. There's so much weight on this shelf. Yeah, there is. If you got to look carefully.
I didn't see a shelf in there.
It's like, where's Waldo? Anyways,
BS on that.
I'm serious. So there's so much shit on there that the shelf came apart from the wall. Well, and I didn't have time to put it back on the frame or subframe.
You would have to get an earthquake rated shelf to hold all that crap in there.
So when I make left? When I make left, I gotta be careful right now because it'll just you hear boom.
Well, where's it gonna go? It's not gonna go anywhere.
It'll go.
The shelf is held perfectly in place by all that garbage.
Yeah. Yes, but it's not usually that full. But
God, Joe, you seem like you're such a smart guy, and then we see your van. It's like, where's the disconnect between the smart guy and his van?
Videos, and we get to see pictures that these guys don't get to see and stuff. And he does this super clean work. He's like OCD about pipes being straight and all this stuff. And he opens up his bed like, what the hell is this?
Just chaos.
It's surprising. I would have never guessed he would have had a van like that. Knowing him, I would not have thought it would be.
I would have never thought it. No.
Right.
Disrepair or whatever.
I mean, you're clean cut with your V-necks, you're manscaping, and then look at your van. It's just disgusting.
Time to vanscape.
Honestly, the reason why I shared it with these guys and all of you guys
because you're crying for help.
Family. No, help me. No, it's because that day was really rammed, like more than usual, and I just had to show it.
Oh God, Justin's calling you a slob.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's gonna, you're gonna have him heartbroken. He's gonna after the show, he's gonna go out there like gut his van and completely redo it.
I know, right? It's funny what Justin said. Usually, very intelligent people are slobs. Yes, I've seen a lot of really high intelligent and like book smart, and their houses are like disasters, or their offices. But besides the point,
well, gotta go somewhere. They have to. I don't know. That part of their brain doesn't really communicate to the other part of their brain, I guess.
Yeah, who knows? But no, honestly, you usually like to keep it nice and tidy, but it doesn't last long. But it is what it is, I guess.
Well, I got a mid-roof full-size transit.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's spotless.
Yeah.
A mid-roof, huh? Is that the one where you can almost sort of stand up in?
Well, I can. I'm only like 5'10", 5'11", so
it's taller than I thought then.
I can stand up in the back of it. Like there's not much room, but you can stand up in the back of it.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad then. So, do you have shelving that goes all the way up there, or is there?
Yeah, it's got shelving on both sides.
Nice, very nice. You got a picture of it so we can check it out for sure.
I mean,
I'm bringing it up right now. Don't worry.
Are you?
Oh, nice.
Yes, it stands to reason that I would have this picture, but I'm looking for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, where does Zach get these pictures from?
Let's not question this.
Interesting. He's like the big brother that's always watching and always taking pictures. That's why whenever I'm done with this, I always put a little piece of tape over top of my camera so Zach can't watch me.
It's wise.
Oh, just Gates Brig.
Keep that in mind, guys.
Oh, wow.
What is that?
That's Justin's van. Every day cleans everything out.
That is amazing.
This guy.
Look at the difference. Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful.
Nice and clean and organized.
Beautiful.
Too bad we should do it.
Hardworking. Yeah, that's hard work.
Zach, if I send you a picture, can you put it up there like now, or is that something you need time for?
Can we do a side by side of Joe's van?
If you could email it to me, it'd be real fast, Joe.
Okay.
Joe, you need to email the pictures. When you send pictures, Joe, you need to email them.
Yeah, I know.
Email them, Joe. Come on.
I know. What's until you get that picture of that person's van? What's your approach on going to a job, Bill, or Justin, if he's not busy, or Zach?
Zach hasn't had 2017.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what things were like back in my day.
Back in my day, I had to walk uphill both ways to my service calls.
That's right.
Yeah, right. With 10 feet of snow. If let's say you get a rooftop quote or even a service job, let's make it more general, and you don't get the job, and you know what company got the job, then they call you because something was wrong with the job. You know, obviously you're probably not going to turn it down. You'll go there, but you know, when you stick your hands in there,
you're married to it.
You're married to it.
You know, it's funny. I just literally had this happen 3 days ago. I don't exactly know the other company that did this job, but there was a retail location. I actually got it on video, but anyway, there's a retail location that did a remodel for one of our customers. And I get it. We don't do remodels. They ripped everything out of the store, ventilation, everything. So obviously the general contractor set the units on the roof, 3 package units, or no, 4 carrier units, and brand new back in June. Come heating time, there was no gas. Gas meter was locked out, right? So the gas company comes back out, turns gas on. I have to go there and just make sure everything's set up properly, burn the heat exchangers off, because for whatever reason, I don't know the reasons behind it, but Family Dollar didn't want to call the original company out that, you know, did all the duct work and set the units on the roof. So I go back out there, and the first 3 units, not really a problem. The 3rd unit, though, I noticed it tripped a breaker, and reset the, turn the disconnect off, reset the breaker, blah, blah, blah. I go back up there, and eventually what I find is that they had the phase rotation mixed up. And for, I'm assuming since June, everything's been running backwards. And one of the compressors had shorted to ground. It just, I mean, it was burnt up. Sticker was melted off. I mean, or not melted off, but it was burned, let's just say. And so anyway, that company screwed everything up. Now I am basically stepping in and telling my customer, like, this is what happened. You can try to go to your other company. This is how I worded it to them. You can try to go to your other company and maybe get them to, I don't know, come back and fix it for free, which they obviously probably aren't going to do. But Carrier isn't going to honor any sort of warranty because the phase rotation was mixed up. And this was the unit that everything was running backwards on. So that's why the compressor is bad. So Carrier isn't going to honor any sort of warranty on it. I don't know if it, voided the entire warranty, but I know they said that they're not going to give me a new compressor based on what I said. And I wasn't trying to be mischievous or in any way, but when I went to Carrier, I obviously could have said, listen, the compressor's just grounded. But it was one of those situations where this particular customer fights us on a lot of quotes. They're not always upfront with us. They're not, I mean, they give us work, don't get me wrong, but I would rather be honest with my supply house than, dishonest with them to help out my customer who's not always the best customer.
Yes, I agree.
That makes sense. And especially since I'm walking into a mess that somebody else created, I'm not going to go out of my way, screw my supply house over just to make them happy, knowing that next time they'll probably call somebody else if my quote's too expensive.
Yeah.
I basically handle it very cautiously. I word things to try to cover every aspect of it. Explained, your warranty's probably voided. You can go to the original contractor who set these in place, try to get them to fix it. Maybe they have a warranty they can honor, and we'll just wait from there. I haven't heard back from them yet if they're going to allow me to replace that compressor or not, though.
It's funny talking about compressors because that's what a lot of cases, what these stem to, is compressor changes or compressor fails. Sometimes you go to jobs and they've been through 2 compressors already and they want you to go and work on that unit. Well, show me something. Don't just say, okay, we need a compressor change. Show me something. Were these companies diagnosed? Did they give us a report of some sort? Like, what is going on? Why is this compressor failing all the time? Is it designed right? Is there something behind all this? Give me some information. I'm not going to go put my hands in something and, be the 3rd compressor that fails,
Yeah. It really helps to have a history of what had happened before you got there, because a lot of these customers don't realize when you step into a situation like that, you almost have to just start learning by trial and error. Like, I have to have a starting point, and this is the starting point that I think we should start from. Now, it helps. I found out it helps if you can sort of explain to your customer all the possible variables that could happen. And again, it's hard. Like, I don't know if you guys seen that compressor trilogy video I had, that compressor murder video, where I mean, it was a horrendous job, and it just kept on getting worse and worse and worse. And I could have made that much better by going to them initially and saying, look, these are all the things that could happen. Now, granted, I can't predict the future, but I could have laid it out a little bit better than what I did and said, this is what this other contractor has done. I don't know how that has affected all these other parts in your system. However, I went to them and said, this is what they did. This is what I'm going to do to fix it. So that's a good example of what you're talking about, where I walked into something that somebody else screwed up. I'm there. I have to fix it now. And I could have handled it better with more communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we're married to the unit, but luckily I replaced almost every single part in that
part.
Unit.
Yeah, exactly. And especially if a unit's so old too, a lot of times you're going to a unit that once you get your hands in it, it's falling apart already. You're gonna fix something else is gonna fail. It's like you see that receiver, it's rusted to crap, and you're fixing something else. Like, do I bother?
Yeah,
put my hands in it. But
now, Justin,
I don't know.
With the residential side of things, I used to see this quite a bit in appliance repair back in the day. Now, instead of instead of walking into something that somebody else has worked on, which I'm sure you get a lot too, but what if it's something the homeowner's been messing with? Be like, yeah, I tried to fix it. I tried to do this and this and this. Now, how do you approach that? Because now they're to a point where either they screwed it up so badly they don't know what to do, or they've gotten so far into it they don't know what to do, and they're calling you, and you get there and it's like, I don't know, pile of parts maybe. They got this part taken off. Be like, well, I did this, or do you walk away, or do you just start from square one and put everything back together, figure out what happened with it?
At previous companies, I have worked for a company in the past that you walk away from it. If you're going to touch it and you're going to mess with it, I'm not touching it. It was kind of one of those things. They felt it was, you leave it to the professionals. You don't touch it.
Yeah, because as soon as you do, you're liable for it. Right.
Now it's kind of like, I don't know, if I walked into one tomorrow and he had crap took apart or whatever, I'd just be clear with him straight up, right up front. Look, it's going to be that, we're going to do this time and material, so you're going to pay me a good hourly rate to sit and put this thing back together. We'll fire it off and we'll see what happens. And then if there's a problem, then we'll address it and I'll get you a price for it. But he's going to know up front that it's going to cost him some money for being stupid and taking a bunch of crap apart when he should have just left it alone and called somebody.
And I assume you also explain that you're not liable for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And most of the time, I encourage, especially something like that, I'm going to encourage them to stand there the entire time and watch me. Don't walk away. Watch me. Because when something is jacked up, when the inducer's locked up, or they got a bad blower motor, or they got a bad board or whatever, they can't say that I did anything because they stood right there and watched me the entire time and they seen what I done. Mm-hmm. So that's how I would approach it. People are probably going to disagree, but
you ever been in a situation with a customer where you felt it would have been better if you had like a body cam on at the end of the day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wish you could have a body cam on you all the time.
And then you just go back and, you know what, let me play that back for you. And we can see how it goes. Yeah, I wish. I guess that's why sometimes I feel like I sort of wish I had a GoPro camera just to do that. But I don't work directly with my customers. My customers are a store manager. Most of the time, they don't even know I'm supposed to be there. I just walk in and they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Is it cold in here?" Like, "Yeah, it is." That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. Hey, who's that guy?
Hey, ¿cómo estás, Curious?
Hey, nice hat.
¿Cómo estás? Nice hat.
Thank you.
Sí. ¿Cómo
What's
estás?
up, Yamo?
I'm back. Sorry.
Muy bien.
¿Cómo se dice en español? ¿Es una sombrero, gorra?
Sombrero, that's a hat, right?
Una gorra. See, but sombrero is the obviously the big hats.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. A little bit of a comment of what you guys were saying. Sometimes old equipment is better in construction or material than a new one, but they are not as efficient as a new one.
Of course. Yeah, you're right. A lot of the older units are built tougher. withstand a lot more, I guess, element. But you're right. But the efficiency is not there, of course. Yeah, it's true.
Like today, after my last service call was to quote a replacement of a mini split, a York mini split. It was a 1 ton. It's not a high wall. It's one of those mini splits that goes on the ceiling, a big one. It was made all metal, all metal.
Where do they have it? On a doorway or in a house?
No, in a house or inside of a bedroom. It was a couple. I think the husband was 86, the wife was 80. Elderly gentleman. So they asked me how much to replace this, and I say, what's wrong? And I said, nothing. It's just that my wife wants an inverter. Does this thing works? Yeah. Okay, let me test it. I tested, and everything was okay. And I truly say to the customer, if this thing runs and works fine, only because of the side of the efficiency, you should change it. But in materials, durability, and then many other things, this unit is way better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will go back tomorrow to clean the unit and check for pressures and many other things.
Do you know if there is a cost difference from a unit that old? Because how old is that unit? 30 years old?
I think the data plate is from 1989.
Huh. Okay.
York unit.
Okay. Now, I wonder how much is the cost difference from that unit and let's say an inverter unit, and if it is worth it or not to change.
An inverter unit, well, that is a 1 ton. An inverter unit, the Mirage, is like a 9,000 pesos. That is like
47 American dollars.
No, you're close, Bill. Just add 1 0.
Oh, 460.
To the right. No,
is it only 460? I was gonna guess around 700.
More or less. No, yeah, like $700.
That's why I'm wondering. Like, are you saving $50, $40 a month with something more efficient, less efficient? Is it worth it? If it's running, do you change it? This goes with everything. This goes with all the appliances in the residential area. You know what I mean?
You guys do work on a lot of inverters or installed inverters?
Right here, yeah.
Not many.
Yeah. No. Justin, have you?
In Tennessee, it was more common. I haven't seen a lot here. No.
Yeah, I haven't touched one up here. Yeah. The only thing I see up here is VFD drives, on some of the package units, but
yeah,
not a whole lot of inverter technology coming my way yet.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in Tennessee. It seems like, I think as far as SEER rating, I think the highest thing I've seen so far is like 16 SEER, which you got to figure also 13 SEER is still legal here. Whereas in Tennessee, it was 14 SEER, 14 SEER
Really?
considered bottom of the barrel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, guys could correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but up here, all I see is 14. I don't think I see less than 14 as well.
No.
Like when I hear you guys talking about 13, I'm like, well, 13? I'm like, I didn't even know they had 13.
It was funny. I was telling Adam the other day because, I don't know if you guys are like me, but for the longest time, I always kept a whole bunch of pistons and like in a parts dish or whatever, kept a few different pistons or whatever. And then in Tennessee, everything went to 14 SEER and people were doing 16 and 18 and 95% of what you see is TXVs. So I'm like, wow, I don't need pistons anymore,
Yeah.
I keep a few in the van, but I don't have them in a tool bag or anything. And I get up here and I'm like, well, it's time to start collecting pistons again. So
I don't know. When it comes to talking about pistons, when it comes to residential, doing side jobs, whatnot, you've seen it. If I need to install a unit, I'm going piston. I'm going to go the simplest, less mechanical things that could go wrong away, and I'm gonna install it. And if that's what they want, they want something cheaper and whatnot. It's gonna be something very simple. It's gonna be piston. It's gonna be a lower sear, maybe 14, 16, whatever it is, and that's it. It's going in.
Yeah. A little bit off topic. Now that Adam's not here tonight, I'll let you guys know I do plan on removing my boiler out of my house and installing forced air. Any recommendations of a good residential system?
Oh, let's leave it up to the chat and us, because you're gonna see all kinds of. Let's see what.
Yeah, anybody out there? I need some recommendations of a good system. I plan on putting 2 in. I have a 2,100 square foot house. It's an older house. It's kind of leaking. As far as
of course,
you know, it was built in 1897, so you know the walls are all plaster.
Is it what do you have? Is it like a full basement or what?
Yeah, I got a full basement. I got a full attic, but I also up in my second floor I have. It used to be like a laundry room, but it's basically like a big storage closet. And I already have gas, electric, everything is already ran. So really, all I got to do is knock some holes, put some vents up. But I wasn't really sure what kind of system I want to install. I'm guessing just on the square footage, 60, 80,000 BTUs. Probably do single stage.
Yeah, single stage. That's it. What model are you looking for?
I don't know. That's what I'm debating.
I would go ICP. I don't know. I like ICP for the buck. It's pretty good. You know, Carrier or
Insane Crown Posse.
Yeah, Insane Crown Posse. Yeah. Yeah, that's my preference. I don't know, or the good old Coleman, but that's besides the point.
Oh my God, do not put a Coleman.
Listen, for straight air,
put a Duquesne in.
Oh, I know Duquesne. That's another one. But for straight air, I don't get too many problems for the Colemans and New Yorks.
No, and I plan on not putting air conditioning in either. I don't want air conditioning. I know that's weird, but I don't want air conditioning.
So you're just gonna do a furnace?
Just a furnace. Yeah.
Well, about the simplest one you're going to work on, you know, when it comes time to work on in the future is going to be freaking ICP. So,
yeah,
I do a Carrier product.
Yeah,
or Train. I mean, Train's pretty simple too.
I might go Carrier. We got a pretty good deal with our Carrier distributor, so I can probably get one at a pretty good price. Yeah. I'm assuming.
No AC bill.
What's that?
No AC system on your house?
No AC. No, I don't want it. I don't want my family to start thinking we're made of money.
Oh my gosh.
They'll start asking me for other things like, hey, can we turn the lights on in all the rooms at night? Or can we not share bath water? Or can we have separate toothbrushes?
Freaking Bill's running a freaking sweatshop.
You know, like, what are we, the Trumps? You know, we don't have this sort of money to throw at things like air conditioning and new bath water all the time.
That's ridiculous. It's only $500 a year for air conditioning, probably. I don't know.
$500 a year. No way, man. We got fans, and by fans I mean the ones the ones you buy from the dollar store. They got 2 wooden things and they got paper in the middle, and you just flutter them around on yourself.
Oh, those.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I couldn't do it. I gotta have AC, man.
Man, I don't know what it is with me. All summer long, I wear long sleeve shirts all the time, all summer long, all winter long.
Wow.
And then even in the summertime, I'm like, it's hot, but I don't know. I never really. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have a window shaker in my office sometimes, as you guys seen before, but I don't really use it a lot. I don't know. I just kind of roll with the seasons,
So what is it? What does it get up to in your house in the summertime?
85.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No freaking way.
Will, are you one of those guys who's like, keep the windows closed, don't let the air in?
No, I mean,
you actually have the windows open during that time?
Yeah, we got some of the windows open. And I like the cold. Like the wintertime, like right now, I would open up a window at least just a little bit just to cool the room off. But I don't know what it is. It's just like I just kind of roll with the seasons. Summertime, I'm miserable, and I
know
that's just part of life. I've always looked at it that way.
Okay, so you prefer wintertime?
Oh yeah, I definitely prefer wintertime. I don't like the heat. Don't get me wrong. I don't like the heat. I've just I'm accustomed to dealing with it, I suppose.
Gotcha.
I get more grumbly, more angry, but it is what it is.
I like the summertime. I like the sweat. I don't like the cold.
Yeah,
I can deal with the cold, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, Now ask me in about 2 months when it's really, really cold out and like all day long I'm out on a rooftop and my beard's just frozen to my face. Like ask me then, and you'll probably get a little bit of a different answer.
Different answer.
Yeah.
I would love to see Bill in one of those attics down in Tennessee, Justin?
Oh, I would just pop my head up there and I'd be like, nope.
I know, right? No way.
No, I had a guy earlier today. One of the guys I work with used to do a lot of residential. He's telling me about some of these attics he's been in where it's like 140 degrees and they work in teams. Like one guy's down, downstairs and one guy's up in the attic and then they switch like every 10, 20 minutes because it's just so hot in there that they just got to switch. I'm like, man,
that's how that's how me and my helper used to do it whenever I was an installer in Georgia. That's
just switch out.
Everything was in attics. Like if you were lucky enough to get one that was an upflow in like a garage or something, you're like, oh crap, this is awesome. We'll be done by lunchtime, But yeah, 90% of the time you're in an attic all day, every day. And you get that warmth, man. It's like, like the attic fan set on 140, 150 degrees or whatever, and that joker's chugging all day long.
A while back I was not really offered a position, but a company was talking to me about a position of being a service manager for a residential company. And I talked to them about it, and they thought it'd be a good fit, and blah blah blah. And I was like, but then once I really got to the bottom of the things, that I thought they were gearing towards moving towards commercial, but they were just simply going to stick to residential. I'm like, nah, I can't do attics, man. I don't want to do attics. I don't want to be up there trying to diagnose air handlers and stuff now. I thought I was tough when I'm up on a roof and it's like 104 degrees out on these rubber roofs.
Yeah.
Can't imagine a 140 degree attic, man. That's nuts.
Oh man, speaking of the rubber roof crap, that one little cold snap we got here, I don't know, whatever it was, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Well, right around Halloween, I think it was. I had to go work on a rooftop. The entire roof was like an inch thick of ice. Like, I felt like I was just walking on an ice skate rink or something, trying to make my way over to this freaking train gas pack.
And that's why
bullshit.
Earlier, late last week, one of those days, I made a video of just kind of highlighting some of the things you got to watch out for on these rubber roofs, man. You fall down and kill yourself.
Big time.
Yeah, you just got to walk like a little old lady, shuffle your feet, not try to trip on gas lines.
Yeah.
I learned I think when it was the second or third year, I really took a hard fall. I was on a Pizza Hut roof, and the way the roofs are laid out, they're kind of funky looking.
Yeah.
They have these weird angles, and it was pretty deep snow, and I didn't see the angle of the roof, and I hit that angle and just fell completely sideways, just completely. I felt like I broke my arm that I landed on, but I didn't. It was
because it's unexpected, like you said. You don't see some of these gas lines like you mentioned.
And then the old guy who was kind of teaching me, he was down in the truck watching me the whole time, just laughing his ass off.
He sees you from downstairs. He sees your head, and then you disappear. Like, oh, where did you go?
I mean, it was a low enough building. You could still see me laying sideways on the roof. There wasn't a parapet wall or nothing. You just see me just flop on over. And I laid there for a minute because I was like, just like, for one, I was embarrassed to get up, and then two, it hurt to get up. I was like, damn it.
I've busted my butt more than once because you got to figure Tennessee is hills and then you have ice. Like, I couldn't tell you how many times I've busted my ass in a customer's driveway. More times than I can count. And it never fails. It's always like at the end of the call too. Like, you make it into the house, you go in, you fix it, whatever. You do the invoice with them. You're leaving. You're walking back to your van. Walk around to the sliding door. Put your tool bag in there. Shut the door. Walk back around to the driver door, and right before you get back to the driver door to open the door, you bust your ass.
And then, like, as you're laying on the ground, you look at the house, and the whole family's in the bay window waving.
Oh, look, he fell.
Look at that poor bastard laying on the driveway like that.
That was actually an old unit you sent a picture of, Justin, that makeup air unit. How old was that?
Dude, it's freaking old. I don't know. I didn't even look it up or anything. It's a Hastings brand.
So, what was wrong with it anyways?
I have no idea. I was sent there for an estimate on 2 rooftops and 1 makeup air.
Oh, you want to replace? Okay, good.
Yeah, they just wanted estimates for replacements. The two gas packs. One's a 7.5 and one's a 10. Both of them have their old Linuxes, busted heat exchangers on both of them. And then the makeup air unit is apparently they have 2 makeup air units, one on either side of like this factory building. And that one has been shut down for like some time. Like the electric's yanked out of it.
I could tell.
Yeah,
it's rough.
He's like, that's got multiple problems. We just need to replace that. I'm like, okay. So I just got the model and serial and stuff off of it, measured the curb and all that. I didn't even open it up or even mess with it.
Sure.
I was looking at what Rookie says here. HVAC Rookie. Heat exhaustion only hurts for a while.
Dude, I would say like in attics, I learned my limit. Like when you're dealing with heat, when you start getting cold chills, when you get that tingling feeling and you're starting to have cold chills in a 140-degree attic, it's time to get down.
Yeah, no messing around.
Time to get down.
No, see, I've never had it that bad. I've had it to the point where I'll just get like I don't know what heat headaches or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Just that's probably just from being dehydrated too. But
yeah,
and maybe a little bit of a fainting feeling if I stand up too fast and it's 105 degrees on a roof. But no, I've never had what you guys are talking about.
Yeah. You know, I want to see somebody. I've seen a few online rigging up blower motors, blah blah blah. I want to see something more because I know if I was going to those attics every day, dude, I would rig something up that as soon as I get to that job, I'm putting something really nice that's going to keep me nice and cool.
I would bring a window shaker and just set it in the scuttle hole of the attic. That's what I would do. Or I'd set it like next to me or something and plug it in and be like, I don't know, find some way to rig a flex venter up something up to the back of the condenser going out the window or downstairs or something.
I had I agree. 115 volt blower with the squirrel cage and everything and just rigged it up and wire nutted it to an extension cord. And I would blow air up in the attic.
That's not bad.
Is that good enough though?
I mean, not really, but it's at least
like a convection oven at that point.
Yeah, at least you're moving air.
Hey, it cooked all even, Justin.
I don't miss that. Don't get me wrong. Like I sit and talk about working in hot attics. I don't miss those days. Don't get me wrong, but I've done it for a long time. And it just becomes second nature, man. You just you're going to be in an attic. So like our rule of thumb was I had a good helper that, I trained. He knew what I liked him to do. He knew how I wanted stuff. And we get there. Our steps was probably everybody's steps, but one guy's going to the condenser, get it pumped down, get that thing freaking yanked out of there. It shouldn't take you no more than 5 or 10 minutes to freaking pump one down, cut it loose, yank the electrical out of it, get it through off the freaking pad. The other guy is immediately going to the attic, getting plenums off, starting, get the wires yanked out, all that stuff. About that time, the condenser guy should be coming to the attic. You both get the air handler down. You get the new one up there. And your first step is you want to get it brazed in and you want to get that thing on vacuum as soon as possible. Our rule of thumb was if you ain't got it on vacuum by lunchtime, you're going to have a long day.
Yeah.
That's when it starts heating up. That's when it starts getting miserable up there. So you want to get the copper done. Get it on vacuum. That way, all you got left, if you're going to take a lunch, take a lunch. But when you come back, all you got left is put plenums on, get the electrical done, get the drain done. You want to get the hard part over with. So that's how we.
Yeah, thanks to Chris Stevens for that super chat there.
Oh, awesome, Chris. Thanks, buddy. I'm not even having the chat open. I don't know. It was glitching my computer having this chat open.
Susie has a good little trick here. She has a little misting fan, a battery powered misting fan. I don't know if you guys have ever tried that, but
never seen that. That'd be cool.
Maybe like if you guys are working with a helper, you could have like a wet t-shirt contest out in the yard and then run up in the
done. Oh man. Have your helper just hold the fan on you.
Skin tight, wet tank top with your nipples poking through and everything, trying to do an install.
Oh man, wearing the wife beaters, whatever they're called.
Wife beater.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to stay cool. That water's going to evaporate right off you, carry away all that latent heat. I mean, you're going to stay somewhat cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good idea. Don't be stealing that idea on me now.
No, I won't. Maybe we'll see this out. I'm not in attics. Can we speak? I'm not in attics. So, but if I was in attics, I would steal that idea.
Yeah, I'm not in attics either. I know if I was though, I mean, I would totally find a way to do some of that heat. I couldn't handle that sort of heat.
No, me either.
I can live in an 85-degree house, but I can't work in a 140-degree attic.
Another big thing is always wore a bandana. Because you got sweat pouring off your head. I mean, think about it. You're in an attic. You're trying to wire stuff. You're trying to focus on what you're doing. You got sweat rolling in your eyes. It's stinging. It's burning. So that's one of the first things I learned is like, you got to put something on your head.
But dude,
while you're in the attic.
Your whole arms are probably like moist, you know?
Oh, yeah, dude. 2 or 3 o'clock. And you're up there like trying to wire up the thermostat wires and stuff, and you're so sweaty, like you can't even hold 2 pieces of thermostat wire together to put wire nuts on it because it's slipping off. It's
yeah. You don't want to think. I love summer, but I don't even want to think of that. But
I'll stick to the commercial stuff. I don't want to do attics.
Yeah, I don't like attics either.
I don't have it in me. I mean, all you guys out there doing attic work, man. Thank God for you guys.
Yeah, shout out.
Thank God.
You guys are some tough MFers, man, because I sure as hell couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Justin's probably like, I was in the army, dude. This is nothing.
Well, I mean, I talk about doing those jobs, but that's been years ago, dude. If I had to go back to doing attic installs every day right now, I'd freaking die.
Yeah.
I'd be slow as crap.
I would only do them in the winter and the fall. That's it.
Yeah.
The ones in Tennessee, what a lot of those guys would do, like our installers at our old company, at my old company there, they, the few and far between attics that you would run into in Tennessee, they would, they'd get up early. Like they'd get to the shop at like 3 a.m. or some crap. And like, they'd have it arranged with the homeowner that they're going to be there super early. And sometimes they wouldn't even do it in a day. Like they'd go do what they could do until it started getting hot, and they'd be like, "All right, we'll be back tomorrow," and they'd finish it up or whatever. I'm like, "What are you guys doing? Do this crap? You don't leave somebody down. You go out there. If it takes you all freaking day, you're in an attic all day. Suck it up." But a lot of guys don't do it that way.
That's what you signed up for.
But yeah, I wouldn't. No, it'd take a whole lot of freaking money for me to go back to doing installs in attics every day.
Okay. Time was ticking here, but you know what? Before, because I want to do some giveaways. Obviously, we do some little small giveaways. But before we go, last question: what was the biggest mistake you guys have done?
Oh,
think about it. Take a second. And guys in the chat, girls in the chat, you can say it too. What you guys done? But I gotta think about it too. I'm not sure.
My biggest mistake was to put a ladder the wrong way, and I didn't tie the ladder to anything. So I was climbing the ladder, and the ladder just fell off with me on it. I fell off like 6 meters.
6 meters. Wow, that's pretty good.
I have no idea how far that is. Is that like 10 miles?
No,
10 kilometers, you mean?
18, 20 feet.
It's like 20 feet.
There you go.
Oh, 20 feet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 feet in a meter, right?
Not that bad.
Roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yamo, that's
The bad thing that was my leg fall into one of the holes on the ladder, so my leg didn't broke, but my arm did, and my back broke like 25% on a bone.
Oh,
So
nice.
I was like 2 days in the hospital.
Oh.
And then 5 months straight on my house, and I cannot even move.
Yeah, I would still consider that a big warning because you hear about stories people falling from less than that and we can't walk again. So that's a lesson learned for everybody, for all of us, for sure.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are right. Zach is fact checking us in the chat here. 6 meters 19.7 feet. So it's not 10 miles like I thought.
Justin, can you think of anything? A mistake, a big mistake? It's hard to think of right up.
I think I've talked about this before. Maybe I even mentioned it last week. I don't remember, but back, like we talked about, I learned in the field. I didn't go to school, so I got through into service figuring it out. And
yeah, I remember.
I was trying to force defrost on a Goodman heat pump condenser, and someone was trying. I don't remember who I was talking to on the phone. I was on the phone with somebody, and he was trying to explain to me how to jump out the freaking defrost sensor. Okay. And I don't know what I did. I couldn't tell you what I touched, but I touched high voltage to low voltage and smoked everything on the
everything. Oh yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Defrost board, blower control board in the air handler, thermostat, 2 24-volt electronic air cleaners that was in the 2 returns in the house. Smoked both of them. Yeah, I think that was it. Thermostat, 2 boards, 2 power heads on 2 electronic air cleaners. And like I said before, luckily I had a cool service manager at the time. And, you call him up and you're like, man, I just made a big mistake. He's like, well, did you learn from your mistake? Yeah, I did. Okay, go to Ferguson, get the parts, go back, fix it.
Wow.
So
very nice. So he didn't belittle you, call you stupid or anything like that?
Nope.
Yeah. I think one thing about being a good leader is, I don't know how many people in the world have ever said this, but I'm sure I'm not the first to say this, but when you have guys underneath you that are learning, like when you're new in the industry and you're coming up, if you create an environment where they feel safe, it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from it. Mm-hmm. You're gonna create an excellent technician out of that.
He was a great service manager. He come from Baltimore, and he was a refrigeration tech for supermarkets. That's what he had done for like 20 or 25 years. So he was a type, had a lot of knowledge, and he didn't get worked up about stuff. If you had a irate customer, if you had a problem child unit, whatever, he didn't get all worked up and bent out of shape. He just like, okay, well, let's do this or let's do this, and we'll get it resolved. He didn't get worked up. So he was a very good service manager.
Yeah, and like you said, the important thing is to learn from your mistakes. But if you keep on repeating and killing the company thousands of dollars all the time and not learning from your mistakes, I think that's a different story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure. But anyways, I think I want to give away a few things, don't you guys? Let's give away a few things for these guys.
How are you going to do it?
I'm waiting for Zach. Where is Zach? Zach, come in here.
I've been in here the whole time.
Oh, okay. Well, come. I want to see you.
I'm pushing buttons and sending emails for you guys.
I know. You're doing a great job, buddy.
You're doing a fine job, Zach. You're doing a fine job.
I need to hear that every show, guys.
I know.
You're doing great, Zach. Everybody loves you. Your wife loves you. Your family loves you. Mm-hmm. And you're the most handsome person in Georgia.
Yeah. Georgia.
No.
Georgia? No. In Georgia now?
I don't know.
Do I have to go to Georgia?
North Carolina.
He's fired, Zach. Kick him out right now.
He's not even been hired yet.
Is it Budapest?
Oh my gosh.
North Carolina.
So I don't get a portion of that super chat that Chris sent in. Damn it.
That's why you're here, Bill.
Man, this is just free labor, man.
Right?
That's it. Yes, you understand perfectly.
I need to get my union steward in here.
Union steward. Oh my gosh.
Hey man, days ain't no unions down here, bro.
I tell you what. Well, real quick, while we're trying to kill some dead air, then Joe, I was going to tell you a quick story about one of the stupider things I did in my days.
Go ahead, yeah, for sure.
You skip right over me, but
honestly, I think I've heard this, and you didn't have one somewhere. But anyways, go ahead.
Sure, I don't know.
I'm just trying to cover my tracks, but go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Backpedaling a little bit.
There you go.
No, so back in the day, I was changing out a TXV on a walk-in cooler. And what I used to do a lot of times before I discovered wet rag and things like that, I would just take the TXV completely apart, take the power head off, everything apart, and then I would braze it in place and put it all back together, right? So I did that one time, except this time it was after hours. I was tired. It was I can't remember, like a Pizza Hut or something. It was a after hours emergency sort of thing. So took it all apart, brazed it in there, and I put it all back together. Or what I thought I put it all back together, and I go to pressure test it, and it's not holding pressure. So I got downstairs and into the box, and I found out that I left the power head off, but in this particular TXV, it had 2 needles in it. And as soon as I hit that with pressure, both those needles blew out somewhere in the walk-in cooler. So It's like 8 o'clock at night. I just blew both the needles out of my TXV. I can't find them because everything that I drop ever in my entire life disappears. I don't know, into the land of Narnia or something.
Yeah, right.
So I'm searching around this TXV, 8 o'clock at night or whatever I just said a few seconds ago, and I can't find it. I must have looked for at least, I did eventually find it, but it took me like at least an hour to find it. Way over on the other side of the walk-in cooler, underneath like all the racks and shit, over in the corner. I mean, of course it had to blow in the furthest place that I would look in last. So that was one of the stupider things I did. So now, obviously, I leave the TXV together, and I just wrap it in wet rag or hot block or, whatever.
Yeah.
I'd ask you, Joe, what was the stupidest thing you ever did, but I'm sure you've never done anything stupid.
Oh, no, he's perfect, man. He's Canadian.
There's not.
Yeah, right.
You're like,
right.
Nobody's perfect, Joe. You can tell us your story.
I didn't say anything.
Joe's
I
never.
just can't think of anything.
Your V-neck says it all.
Bam. Mistake. All right. Mistake.
You don't have to tell us, Joe. We believe you.
It'll come to me when we're doing some giveaways because I can't think of anything major right now off head.
All right. Let's move on with this giveaway. How do you want to do it? You got questions, answers, rock, paper, scissors?
What do you guys feel? What are you guys feeling? I think what we're giving Zach, let's do what are we doing? Swag giveaways?
Like swag packs or something like that. I'll figure out what exactly, but like stickers and stuff like that.
Cool.
Maybe like a hat. One of Bill's hats, probably.
I got some plastic spoons and a pack of napkins I can give away.
Like one step up from that.
Sweet deal.
One step up is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly one.
How are we gonna give them away? Just any ideas, Bill, Yamo, and Zach?
I don't know. I wasn't the one that presented this idea.
No doubt.
No
doubt. Joe.
No, it's all Jesus' decide.
Who has the 30th truck? No, I'm joking.
What?
I'm gonna give him 10 seconds, and I'm going to help him.
Do it quick.
You got 10 seconds of dead air coming.
No chat giveaway though, Zach.
No chat giveaway. No chat giveaway. How about the guys can come on and tell the biggest mistake they've ever made?
Perfect.
And then
yeah. Perfect.
Sounds good.
Wow, I did it.
Perfect.
Also number. If you don't know the number. He is.
It's a link, bro.
That's right. It is a link.
I saw the biggest mistake on HVAC on a guy's video. He didn't bolt the compressor. He punctured the condenser coil. It was I think it was I cannot remember.
Yeah. There's
I cannot remember the name of the condenser coil. It was a micro channel.
Yeah.
He didn't pull a vacuum right. He didn't pressure test the system. He didn't. Plus, he messed up with the blower motor.
I'm sure when you see videos like that online, I'm pretty sure they hear it from the audience because there's a lot of smart people out there, including this chat right here, and they see it. We all see it, and I'm pretty sure he hears it. So
yeah,
we have a person waiting whenever you guys are ready.
Go for it. All
right, we have Miss Susie Dunn.
Awesome.
Susie.
You look super excited to be here, Susie.
Awesome hat.
Thanks. All right. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of like it.
I want a hat like that.
So the dumbest thing I've ever done is I was changing a gas valve and broke one of the nozzles off of the unit, and right there in front of the customer, I couldn't get it easy out, and tried to get it out, and I couldn't do it, and so I had to take it back to the shop, the whole tube back to the shop, and get it done.
Did you get it done that day? Get them up and running that day?
that day, yes, got him up and running that day, but it took half the day.
Yeah. At least you did the right thing though and got them up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least I took responsibility, but it cost me my job in the long run. So
did it?
Oh wow.
I didn't like that company anyways.
Yeah, that's a good thing then. But at least you showed integrity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's really what matters.
Yeah. Oh, well, got to have that. That's all you got.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Great show.
Thanks, Susie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Susie.
thanks for calling.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye. Adios.
Our next person is Mr. Bimco. Mr.
Michael
Bimco.
Bimco.
And his child,
Oh,
evidently.
hey.
That doesn't look
What's
like
up,
him.
guys?
He's got
Good to
such
see
a
y'all.
tiny little face.
What's up, dudes?
What's up, man?
So,
What's up?
I just remembered about one that happened probably a few months ago. We have a customer with like 63 rooftop units, and some of them are kind of duplicates where they had a previous space that was somebody else's that they ended up buying. So there were like 4 units from that space. It's mostly warehouse, but so there's RTU 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they had theirs previously, 1 through 59 or 60, whatever it was. But there was a service call for RTU number 2, and I worked on the wrong RTU number 2 for about 2.5 or 3 hours before I figured it out. I went downstairs and I told him, I was like, I couldn't find nothing wrong, It looks like it's good. And she's like, well, she pulled up the front end, She's like, no, it's still a piece of shit. So
It's not.
yeah, it's still broken. You need to go back.
I think.
I'm sorry, Becky.
I think I've done this. Sorry, to cut you off, Bill. I think I've done almost the same thing. Work on the wrong unit for a good. I'm pretty sure a good hour. So
I think if you work on rooftops,
It's bound to happen.
it's going to happen.
I
Right.
spent $1,100 of my company's money fixing a unit that after I fixed it, we found out didn't even belong to that retail location. It was
oh no.
an abandoned business in a strip mall. I'm like, wait a minute, you mean? Because it was a company that uses energy management boards, like communication boards. And when I was all done, I was like, what do you mean you can't communicate with this system? Like, I'm looking at it right here, and they're like, is there an EMS board in there? Nope. Wrong unit, bud.
Unfortunate, man.
$1,100 later. That was an awesome phone call to make to the boss.
Oh yeah, I bet it was. We had a guy recently. He's fresh out of school, so kind of an apprentice for us. His first time in service, and so he mistakenly thought he had a leak in his system. He thought it was a 410A system. Turns out it was an R22. So when he saw the standing pressures were much lower than he's used to seeing, he assumed there was a leak, and so he threw a bunch of nitrogen on top of a completely fine R22 circuit in a rooftop to leak check, and found nothing, but totally ruined all the refrigerant in that system. And yeah, so that was a pretty fun one to explain to the service manager. We were at lunch, man, and we're just laughing at him. Poor guy. Not at him, with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was a fun lesson to learn.
For sure.
But, ended up telling the customer there were non-condensables in the system to kind of recoup some of that. Don't tell anyone we did that, guys.
Yeah. That's a biggie.
Yeah. It
So
wasn't,
did you guys? So I guess you guys took the heat for that. You guys didn't charge them for evacuation, billing.
I'm not
charging?
sure. Like I said, it wasn't me. I wasn't on that job with him.
Okay.
I don't know how the service manager ended up handling that one, but we got a good laugh out of it. I think. At least we did. I don't know about if he did or not, but he learned a valuable lesson, I think.
Oh, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like it.
Could happen to the best of us, though.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, you do this trade for any amount of time, you're going to have at least 3 or 4 things on yourself, at least that you
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen.
I just kind of push them out of my memory,
Mhm.
Just forget about those. Everybody.
But you always have those 1 or 2 that linger. That you remember for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think most of the time I just remember how much I hate cleaning cooling towers. That always sticks with me. I never forget that.
Yeah.
That's I think that would be scary. Like so far high, it's you're like the highest
Sometimes.
point of the building.
Sometimes we've got a few around some college campuses, and they're on the ground. I mean, they're on these big stands. They've got like 3 different cooling towers all piped together.
Okay.
In the loop, but it still sucks. It's just nasty and dirty and stinky, and it just sucks.
Yeah, I remember when I was just starting one of the jobs I was just starting. It was for our company, and that's all he did was I was trying to wander off, see what I want to do, and I thought he was HVAC, but apparently that's all he did was just wash cooling towers. But he wasn't HVAC. It was just a guy, a company who just washed. I'm like, no thanks. I tried to. I'm like, no.
Yeah, we've got a company around town that's all they do is cooling tower cleanings.
Yeah.
Just like we've got companies that, they're strictly chemicals and some that strictly do recovery for large systems. And those specialist companies, they seem to do well. I mean,
sure,
they're doing it right.
Yeah, for sure.
They end up just, they travel more. So, whatever.
Yeah. Man, that's a good shot. Did you see, what's his name here? Kangaroo God?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
He left the plug out of a gas valve there, the pressure tap out of a gas valve, and torched the furnace.
I've done that before, but I didn't torch. It was on a package outside too, and like as soon as that happened, like the disconnect was right there where I could just turn it off.
Nice.
Yeah, I forgot to put it back in, but I remembered right.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Just getting wrapped up, and I'm like, oh, did I put that back in? I'd pull the panel back off. Like, oh, I didn't. Man, could have torched a house down with that thing, but
hey, Chris.
Hey, Sean Penn's here.
Sean Penn.
Man, come on.
No, that's a good one. What Kangaroo God said, that's a good one. For a rooftop, fine. If it happens, like you guys said, okay. But in a residential setting, in a dwelling, like, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget when I shot a contactor out of a rooftop unit for the first time.
Oh, how do you do that?
The first time I encountered a contactor that had welded shut, I'd always heard about it, but nobody ever really explained to me like how that happens or why. I was still pretty new. So it was a pretty big package unit, probably 20 ton, 15 or 20 ton.
Mm-hmm.
And so anyways, I was like, oh, you just got a bad contactor. So I just went and threw on a new one. And I didn't check for any shorts to ground or anything. And luckily, the disconnect was probably 10 or 12 feet away from the unit off to the side. And as soon as I flipped power on, man, shot that thing right off the side of the unit.
Man, I want to find a way to recreate that.
I know.
Next time you got a grounded,
awesome.
Next time you got a grounded compressor, just especially on a 3-phase 460.
That is true.
Yeah.
I got one on a 230 right now that I just quoted.
Go for it, man.
Go to like on a Lennox L series package unit that has a VFD in it. Some of those have bypass contactors.
Oh yeah.
And if they have the bypass contactor, if the VFD is engaged and you push in the bypass contactor, don't ask me how I know, but the VFD will shoot across the roof. I didn't do it. One of my guys did it actually, but one of my guys, he said, no, I didn't push in the contactor. And I'm like, dude, there's only one way that VFD would shoot across the roof. And luckily he was standing next to it. It didn't hit him in the stomach because that would have been bad.
Oh man. Speaking of stomachs, I got another dumb story. Back in the day, I was using an angle grinder and I was holding something and I was holding what I was cutting with the angle grinder. And I was holding it real close to me to try to get some leverage. And it caught my shirt, and that angle grinder was wrapped up in there. And I mean, it got real tight, real fast. And I pulled the plug on it real quick, pulled my shirt. I thought I sliced my guts open, but
yeah, I did the same thing, dude.
Turns out I got lucky. I didn't. I had a scratch on me, but man.
So a couple of years ago, it was probably 10, 12 years ago, I had a new guy that came to work for me. And this whole story, nothing had to do with my new guy. He didn't do anything wrong, but he was an apprentice and he didn't know anything about the trade. And we were working at a hospital and I decided to break him in nice and easy. So we had a morgue call at the hospital where we had a 4-passenger cooler that was down. And it had some bad fan motors. Well, I think it was like a Heatcraft evaporator coil up in. It's not like a walk-in coil, but it was just like a reach-in coil. And I think it had 4 or 6 fan motors. It was a really big, long one. And they were like little, if you guys like reach-in cooler fan motors, like little itty-bitty EM690 skeleton motors, So I had a bunch of those skeleton motors in my van, and I think like 2 or 3 of the motors were bad, but I decided to change them all because it's like, well, 3 of them went bad. We're just going to change all the fan motors. We got to climb in this thing anyway. So changed all the fan motors. I think it was 4 after all, but changed all the fan motors and watched the thing come down to temp. Everything was good. About 2 a.m, I got a phone call from the hospital, and they said, there's something on fire in that reach-in. It's burning and it's smoking, and now it's full of bodies, and it smells horrible.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Was my apprentice guy, I had to break him in. He had to physically get inside the cooler. So I said, well, go take that thing apart. Here's the 4 motors. Go ahead and change them. Well, I gave him 115 volt motors, and they were 208 volt. And he changed them. I didn't get in there and check, and it ran, and it came down to temp. Apparently it didn't run very long. And and they called me, and I was so embarrassed. And I did work for that hospital for another probably 6 years after that. And the entire time, they would always bring that up to me. And that morgue cooler smelled burnt whatever for like a year. I'm not kidding with you.
Wow.
All the doctors and stuff that would come in there and work, they would always say to the engineer guys, like, yeah, dude, this thing still smells. And yeah, they gave that one to me for a while too.
I wonder how long that would last, to be honest. Maybe 2 hours? I don't know. Running time?
I don't know, Yeah, no.
Another Ricky's pretending to sleep over there.
No, I'm just listening to you guys. Oh, I was going to just tell you a funny story when I first started. We had a dual voltage vacuum pump, and we go to Huntington Beach, which is an upscale neighborhood around here, right on the actual beach. My boss is like, let me go contact the customer. I go on the side to pump the unit down. I hook my pigtail up, and my pump was set at 115. As soon as I turned it on, it fried my pump. Yeah. My boss was pissed. It was like 3-4 month old pump. We sent it back, and UPS actually dropped it while they were shipping it. So instead of paying the $75 to Yellow Jacket to get it refurbished, they said, oh, just give us $100 and we'll ship you out a brand new pump. Thank God we had the insurance.
Yeah.
But I've always checked my pumps after that, make sure that I'm on the right voltage.
Wow.
It just takes one time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's a good heads up.
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
Hey, Steve.
Wonderful. How are y'all doing this evening?
Doing good.
Fantastical.
Fantastic. I did something craziest thing I ever did, baddest thing. It was a twofold thing. Just rookie in the industry, just starting. And boss man set me up to change a compressor up on the roof, which I diagnosed grounded the day before. 7.5 ton compressor. They sent me out there with no help to get the compressor on the roof. I pulled my back, which destroyed my whole day there. Proceeded to change the wrong compressor. Fired it up. And guess what? We blew the breaker again.
Oh, no.
So called the service manager, told him what was going on. He told me to swap the compressors. And I told him I'd already pulled my back. I was no good for anything. And he said, deal with it. Tough it out.
Tough it out.
It was like, yeah. It was like, well, thanks for giving me the help and thanks for the support there.
Yeah, no kidding.
See, that's a company that doesn't really seem to care.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I didn't stay too long, but
yeah,
there are those horror stories out there.
Oh yeah,
man.
Well, you know what? It was a lesson learned to, if you get hurt, just take a break.
Yeah.
Try to get some help.
Yeah.
And before you start changing the wrong compressor, put your meter on it and make sure you're working on the right one.
Yes.
Yeah. No
Agree
doubt.
100%. Don't just go off on what someone's saying. Just double check yourself, Check yourself. Right. Well, Steve, thanks for coming in, bud.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Y'all be careful.
You know what?
Weekend, Steve.
Before you go, Steve, actually, why don't you email your, what does he have to do? Email his information at HVACOvertime at gmail.com.
Yep.
Zach?
I've got his information.
Or Justin?
I've got his information.
Okay, cool.
You got his information?
Yeah, he signed up on my list, so I already have his information.
Okay.
Ooh.
Cool. All right. We'll send you some stuff, Steve.
All right.
All right. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So we're going to send Rookie some stuff too, or Susie? What are we doing here?
I'll send Susie, Bimco, Steve, and Rookie stuff. I'm sure Chris already has our stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll send those 4 people stuff.
Awesome. That's awesome, guys. That's awesome. Cool.
Sort of off the cuff sort of thing, but
yeah. That's awesome. Yamo is back.
Did you guys see the picture of all that stuff Adam sent me?
No.
Posted on Facebook. I don't know if you do the Facebook joke.
No, I don't.
He don't do the crack book.
No.
No.
Man, it's not good for everything, but I mean, it's got its place in the world, I suppose.
Yeah.
But no, man, Adam hooked me up.
Did he?
Sent me a nice, not a jacket, but what am I thinking of? Like a zip-up hoodie, T-shirt,
awesome.
stickers, all your guys' stickers, a hat.
Awesome.
I have to send him a thank you letter with a nice card in there.
Adam doesn't cheap out. I have to admit. Hey guys, he doesn't cheap out when he's sending stuff.
Yeah, he definitely does not.
I was surprised that I even got that because I've been talking to him about this for like a few weeks now, trying to get him to send me some stuff. He's like, yeah, I'll send it. And then he asked me the other day if I got the package. I'm like, are you sure you even sent the package? But no, he did. Yeah, it's pretty sweet, man. Some killer swag.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I don't know. Do you guys want to stay on longer? You guys want to wrap it up? We've been on pretty long, almost 2 hours, I think, right?
I think I'm ready to call it. If you guys,
I got to work tomorrow. Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever, but I'm about ready to wrap it up, I think.
I'm good. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Cool.
Bill, why don't you close us out?
Yeah, Bill. Go.
Oh, put it on me?
Yeah. Put it on.
Yeah. You are in the middle.
Mallory did a great job, so I'm pretty sure you can.
Oh, that's right. So I have to do better than a 10-year-old?
Yeah.
13. Close enough.
13-year-old? What do you guys normally say in these things? I'll just make up something.
Speak from your heart.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll speak from the heart.
There you go.
It's an emotional time as we say goodbye, and as some songs from the 1980s I'm sure have said, nobody likes to say goodbye, or goodbyes are always hard. I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that song is.
No.
But no, anyways, guys, thanks for having me on, and
Sure.
thanks to all you guys out there watching.
Yeah.
All you guys that came in here towards the end here and chatted with us for a little bit.
That's awesome.
I know none of your stories are relatable to Joe because he's never made a mistake, but it was still fun.
Absolutely not.
You know,
I'm thriving to when they be there. I'm thriving.
we,
when they be there.
we forgot about Joe's horror story. Please tell us.
he doesn't
Joe.
have one. He's
You don't
never
have
made a
one. He's
mistake.
perfect.
Like once
You are
I'm
not
smart enough, I'm going to
perfect.
take a test to become Joe Canada certified.
Oh my
Screw my
God.
Nate certification. I need to become.
That Nate's, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Nate,
mean, that V-neck was a mistake.
That was the bonus question on Nate, eh? What shirt do you wear?
Oh God.
V-neck.
you know, I'm going to start wearing like a W neck shirt and just one up you. Got 2 freaking V's in it, man.
That was good. That was
I'm
good.
gonna have a V in the front and a V in the back and spin
That was
around
good.
and show you what it looks like.
Oh my God.
How stupid would that be?
Oh, there. But you will be one up.
That's true. I'll one up you. Anyways, with that, guys,
Yeah.
let's get out of here. Have a good night,
do it.
guys. We'll see you on the next one.
See you guys.
Peace.
You.